Good day, mates. Just kidding. Hunt, shoot, off road. See, since we're in quarantine up here, we don't know what day it is, much less what time. So, yeah. So that poll should have started 6 months ago. Oh, it's subjective. Anyway. Hello, welcome to Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network. Want to take time to thank Jake and Ryan over at Patriot Patch Company. The awesome kick-ass patch of the month for April.
Speak up, Mike.
Up!
That's better.
Jason got it. Nobody else did.
I got it. Up!
Never mind. So, our awesome patch of the month from Patriot Patch Company.
Yeah, the COVID-19 rabbit.
No, actually, it's Tacta Bunny. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19, it was delayed in manufacturing and shipping. So, but we now have it. Yay! So, looking to see if I got any previous year bunnies sitting around here. Oh, yep. Right there. Come here. That one I think was 2 years ago. Might have been last year. So, but they always do something fun with the Easter Bunny. Anyway.
I like the sticker with Make America Badass Again.
That sticker?
That sticker.
I have a t-shirt. I have that t-shirt.
I put that sticker on the back of my truck on the left side on the rear, on the lift gate for the cap.
Oh, Idaho Rogers USMC is still alive. Yay!
Hey, he's all tickled because he's finally able to catch the live show.
Sweet. So, Sharp, if you're driving home, how the hell are you texting? That's what I want to know. So, any rate,
it's chauffeured around. That's how.
I guess that's what happens when you're a miscreant. They don't let you drive anymore.
I think he lost his license because of his age, and he couldn't see anymore.
Oh, okay.
Forget what the colored lights mean on the stoplights and stuff. Kids probably drive him around now.
Yeah.
It's all true.
So what's everybody been up to?
I went shooting.
Yay.
Excuse me.
Tell us more, Jim.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to, so I get my notes back up. I took the Ruger out, the Ruger M77 all-weather stainless. And after I reseated the scope, it everything all locked down nice and tight. And then I went over it the next day. I'm surprised the screws aren't broken. But anyway, everything shot right in the way it's supposed to. I'm shooting about 1.25 inches, 1.125 at 100 yards, 5 shots. That's more like what I'm expect out of the gun. We'll see. I'll take this is just bulk ammo that I made, just for sighters and shooting steel, stuff like that. We'll see how it goes. I burned up about 35 rounds of 308 in that thing. Then I took the SLR-40 to the had on my hip, and I decided to run some practice loads. I ran those, that bullet mold I sold you, Mike?
Yep.
I still have some ammo made with that. That bullet, 175 grain semi-wad cutter, max loads. They're pretty peppy, but I shoot them for training purposes. I turned around, fired 3 rounds of factory ammo after I got done with that. And it's like, boy, that stuff's tame compared to my loads. So that's what I did Sunday. got some brass, brought home more 40 brass than it fired.
That's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
That's always a good thing, except for it was 40.
Oh, now listen to you. Now here you go, starting your crap again. Come on, we'll fight, Travis.
You trying to fill some You trying to fill some potholes again?
Well, I can do it. It doesn't take me 3,000 bullets to do it my way. Anyway, I've shot 9mm. To me, it seems to me a rather tepid round, like shooting 38. It's like, oh boy, 357, 40. Now that's more like what I think in as far as practice carry, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, that's my spiel for the week. Sharanda, what'd you do?
I loaded some more 9s. Finally made a decision to move. So I'll have a hen's den here shortly. I also, of course, been practicing on those turkey calls. And this weekend, I'm not actually hunting because I'm not a resident where I'm going. But I'm actually going to go watch, even though I can't hunt. I can still observe.
Take your camera.
I always got that. And that's pretty much it. I'm just trying to live out of boxes here soon.
It's my understanding you've already got yourself a dedicated reloading garage.
That is correct. I'll have the garage, the hen's den, and part of a basement. So I'll kind of have a hodgepodge of workspace.
So now she can start casting.
Yes. Yes, I can.
Making her own pretty colored projectiles.
Yep. So I can make my own taste of rainbows here pretty soon.
Alox Brown, right?
Just break it to him, Sharanda. Tell him the truth.
Yeah, I think I'm going powder coat.
You bet. You should. I will tell you, you really should. Hey, I'm not going to change, but you know what? I encourage all new shooters. Go for it. It's more work than Alox is. But whatever, you got the $5 toaster oven?
Not yet. I'm not going to buy any appliances until after I get moved, which will be sooner than later.
Congratulations on the expansion.
Thank you.
Jason, did you do anything this week?
I got a call from my LGS. He's got a goodie package for me he's holding.
Yeah? What's he got?
I think I ordered primers. I can't remember for sure. I had ordered primers like last year.
Wow.
And I said, give me a call when they come in because I don't get to that part of town very often right now. And he forgot. And I never went in there. And then when the COVID-19 started happening and people are buying everything out, I started remembering, hey, I ordered primers. So I went over there, and my buddy Terry Dillashaw is walking out of the store with the last 2,000 of my primers because they forgot to hold them for me.
Ow.
So he ordered up another, I think he said 5,000 for me. So I got to go in and get those.
Yeah, 5,000 to a case. That's the way to do it, Jason.
And my our listeners, Joe Gomez, he was texting me this week. I guess he's only been casting pistol bullets so far, and he's getting ready to cast for 45-70. And so he'd like for me to be there and look over his shoulder. So tentatively Saturday morning, I'm going to go over there and drink his coffee and pick on him and, be me.
I suggest you help him out with this. Have you seen the movie Ghost? You know that scene when Patrick Swayze's helping her make the pottery?
The potter's wheel. Yeah.
You don't say a word. You just slip around him and you help him with that sprue plate. And make sure you
Travis,
film it.
What do you think about when you're not reloading?
Jason, make sure you wear sandals and short pants when you go help Joe Gomez.
Oh,
Is there any other way?
You've got no room to talk because you got a big one there, and
And a tank
you've
top.
got some changes in your procedure, Travis Buck.
And a tank top. Don't forget the tank top, Jason.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what'd you do this week, Travis?
Well, Jim, we might as well just get right to it then, huh? For those watching, you can see I had a little mishap with the 1050.
Mm.
I had my primer tube go off. I don't know how many actually blew up in the primer tube, but I just put in a fresh 100, and I'm holding up the primer tube. It's pretty bulged in 2 spots.
Are those primers we're looking at in the splits, Travis?
Yes.
Stuck primers.
Yep. And they're all detonated. It only sounded like one went off, but that's obviously more than one going off. You can see how bulged it was. I actually had to beat it out with a rod.
My God.
But yeah. So it blew this off, this tube apart. It blew off the little blue end piece that guides the primer into the slide. It blew apart the little keeper on the 1050. There was a little plastic keeper under the priming station that holds your case in. There's not like a pin. It's a little sliding piece. That blew apart. The primer alarm, it destroyed that rod, the weighted rod.
Yeah.
The little plastic piece that the rod touches and it goes off and sounds the alarm, that broke off.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was. I think that's all it broke.
How much did it cost you to replace all that?
Well, I bought extra parts. I bought basically 2 of everything. Plus, I added some extra parts while I was on Dylan's website. I spent $140. But then I also, after that, I thought, hey, I already spent that money. Why not spend some more? So I went and I picked up a 308 conversion kit for the 1050. I picked up 2 45 ACP conversion kits, one for me and one for our friend Freedom Seed. And just some a 308 trim die, 308 the large rifle plate for the case feeder. I got everything so I can work on a 308, and I don't even have a 45 pistol or nothing, but I decided to pick up the kit anyway. So I got all that stuff situated. I also went shooting. It's been a heck of a week. I went shooting, I think Sunday, and I broke the extractor on my AR.
Whoa.
So I had to order some parts I ordered a new extractor. Then I'm really contemplating picking up one of the Faxon firearms bolt carrier groups when they come back in stock, so I can put that in the competition rifle and have a backup bolt carrier group ready to go. Since I broke the extractor in that, I just put that gun away, and I started, me and my buddy, we both have 300 blackouts. So we started shooting our 300 blacks. I was shooting the Accurate Outdoors 120 grain projectiles, and I was shooting them out at our local range. We have 220, 340, 440, and 540. And I was shooting pretty consistent on a 20-inch plate out to the 440 with the 300 black. And that was pretty, I was pretty happy with that. And then later that Sunday, I sorted a whole 5-gallon bucket of random brass and started cleaning them with the 2 dry tumblers that I have, and then Idaho Rogers lent me his Franklin Armory wet tumbler, and I gotta say I really do like that wet tumbler that Idaho Rogers let me borrow. I really liking it.
Travis, may I go back, if you don't mind, if you
Sure.
go back to the Explode
Yeah,
magazine?
only if Mike takes me off of the big screen.
I don't think Mike's at his desk right now.
Okay.
My question is, what do you think set off those primers?
So I had a case sitting here. Okay, so I'm thinking on the 1050, it's got the swaging station.
Yes, sir.
And I'm thinking that I didn't have it adjusted correctly for the brass that I was running in it. Because as you guys know, every brass, and they're all, little slight different specs.
Yep.
So I think the swage rod wasn't completely removing the swage part of the primer pocket.
Yes.
And I was getting before this went off, I got 3 primers that were kind of mangled up. And that happens occasionally if you don't get it on the 1050, if you don't get the swage set correctly. So I should have stopped and taken care of it then, but ifs and buts, So I think what happened was one went in a little,
Yeah,
wrong.
I've had it happen.
It went in crooked or whatever, and then it crushed it and it popped that anvil on the primer and it went off,
Causing a chain reaction. Did anything go up to your ceilings? Literally?
yeah, like I said, that weighted little plastic. They have a cheap plastic weighted rod you guys are familiar with.
Right.
That thing was broken into 2 pieces, and then the top piece I had glued a 458 SOCOM piece, and I filled it with lead shot to give it a little extra weight.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even find that. I don't know where that went to.
Travis, I'm glad you're okay.
I said it sounded like one primer went off, just one little pop, Then I got looking, and nope, a whole bunch of them.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're going to start reloading with safety glasses on from now on.
Yeah, I'm going to start. I mean, I always have.
Yeah, right. I hear a wild turkey talking.
That's not me. I think I know who that is.
Got to be Mike. Mike, take us off Travis' screen, please. Tired looking at his ugly face.
Thank you. Me too.
Why's it gotta be me?
I'm glad you're okay, Travis, truly.
Yeah, who else is going to give you crap about ALOX if I wasn't around?
Me.
You know what probably caused that, Travis? Your fairy dust that you sprinkle all over your projectiles.
Well, see, I was loading these. Oops. 223. I don't powder coat and shoot.
But you got powder coat on your machine
that,
prior, and then it ignited.
Oh, little leftover fairy dust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My fairy dust is different from your fairy dust, though. Let's make that clear.
Raggle Fraggle thinks you ought to reload with a face mask from now on, Travis. I like the idea of using an opaque face mask. That way we don't have to, when you podcast, that way we don't have to look at you. That's payback, Travis. You deserve that. You earned it.
So Dead Horse is asking what head stamp brass I was loading. So say normally I just have for just general stuff, I'm loading just random range brass. 3 guns starting back up. I'm going to shoot it seems like forever ago, but we're shooting this coming Saturday in Jerome, Idaho. And so I was getting some more match ammo loaded up. My buddy shoots a lot of the Frontier branded ammo. And I'm pretty sure Hornady makes this, and it's basically Hornady brass with the head stamp of Frontier on it. So I just collect all of this because I got a whole bunch of it from him. So this is what I was loading up.
Is it good quality brass?
I feel like it is, especially for free.
Well, yeah. Free is always good, but just
And
curious about the quality of it.
It's all and I do anneal. I take a little bit of time with this stuff versus anything else just because I don't have a whole bunch. Yeah, Idaho Rogers says it's basically Lake City brass from what I understand from when Hornady was running in the plant. I could be wrong, but I think that's what this Frontier brass is.
We now have a second. John Trader said Frontier is Lake City.
What'd you do this week in Guns Reloading, Mike? Anything?
Posted the podcast. Unfortunately, by the time I got home Sunday from Cabela's, I was pretty much wiped and started working on the podcast and fell asleep. So that's why it didn't get posted until Monday. So, did a little bit of cleaning and organizing in the garage on the one day that was actually warm enough to play around out here, but didn't get much further than that. Other than that, not much.
Hey, Mike, check the comment from Daniel Anderson, please. Don't highlight it. Just look at it.
So,
Jason, would that be the same guy you sent me a text message about?
yes.
Okay.
So, interesting. Hornady brass is made by Armscore. I did not know that.
Why don't you go ahead and highlight that comment from Paul, because that's good info. So Paul Nelson, Frontier Brass was made by Lake City under contract, and Hornady Brass is made by Armscore.
Now highlight Fat Elvis's. Yep.
See, that goes right. There we go. It goes right along with it. He's on board.
You earned that one.
You never pass up a good Ghost reference when you can.
That's right.
Always kick a guy when he's down. You never know when you get another second chance.
Exactly. And if you can, kick him twice while he's down. So.
Are you taking notes, Sharinda?
Of course.
I'm sure you know all them dirty tricks, though.
I'm gonna continue to plead my angelic innocence.
Speak up. Speak up. We can't hear you.
I said I'm gonna continue to plead my angelic innocence.
Bullshit.
Mike, you gotta do something about that sneeze.
I know, it's terrible. Uh-oh. Okay. Almost had a beer emergency.
Yeah.
So,
Put it down a little hard.
so I want Daniel Anderson's comment. I want Paul Nelson to answer that one.
That is such a subjective question. Which is better?
There he goes. There he goes. He already answered it.
Which is better, left or right?
Well, are you right-handed or left-handed?
I write with my right and the other one's left.
I'm ambidextrous. Agreed, Dead Horse. Agreed. Damn it, there goes another sponsor.
That we never had.
Right? So.
Don't particularly need or want.
Yep. So.
That just real quick, guys. That might be a good topic for us to cover at some point. Might take us a while, but going over kind of some of the, maybe it might just be our opinions, but our opinions on brass quality. We all know the top ones, and we know the low ones, but might be a good topic to hit the ones in between.
If only there was somebody that did something like that on the podcast at one time.
Who would that have been?
He's
some little short midget from Arkansas.
Yeah, the guy that you replaced, Sharenda.
Oh, that busy guy.
Airman Jeremy Rowland.
Oh, she's not looking now.
No.
Yeah, she's wave, honey. Yeah, more or less a wave.
she's gonna give you the one fingered wave here in a second.
She already clouded me once since I sat down. Did you see me jump around?
I thought it was just one of those old man twitches.
That was at 27 minutes and 5 seconds when I got hit.
God, did it traumatize you? You know, down to the second that happened.
Absolutely. How about a conversation on twist rate versus bullet weight? Yeah, that conversation is from Hunt Shoot Off Road. He would love to hear a conversation on twist rate versus bullet weight. Well, generally speaking, which is better, Sharenda, for 243 and a 1 in 12 twist? 105 grain or 60 grain?
Did you say it? Hold on a second. You broke up on me. Hold on.
Sorry.
Okay, say that again. And I'm plugged all the way in.
Okay. 243 Winchester cartridge. We know someone that has one, right?
That would be me.
Yeah, that's right. Which is better for 1 in 12? You probably have a 1 in 12 twist rate.
I believe that I do. I would actually have to double check that because I've had it for so long. I don't remember. I just know what I like to shoot out of it.
Okay.
And
the question is for 1 in 12, which is better, generally speaking, 60 grain bullets or 105 grain bullets?
I don't know what the twist weight. I'm gonna have to be honest. I know I like to shoot 95.
Okay.
The answer would be the lighter weight projectiles.
The lighter weight.
Travis.
Okay.
Thank you, Travis. You're exactly right.
And that goes along with Hunt Shoot Off Road. He's kind of going in the opposite direction, but as we all know, every firearm, every barrel has its own personality. So Hunt Shoot Off Road says, I'm using 55 grain in 1 in 9 twist. I can't get the group to close up. So I just got some 62 grain, hoping for better results.
Very good.
So generally 1 in 9 is more ideal for 55s. I actually like 1 in 8 twists because it's kind of a in between. So then a 1 in 7 would be for your heavier grain projectiles, and we are talking in 223 here. So yeah,
do this. Berger has an amazing thing on their website. and probably not many people know about it. But what it is it is a twist rate chart. So, and this kind of helps narrow it down.
Damn right it does.
You're gonna need to know some stuff about your bullet. Seeing as how I have this lovely Sierra bullet mat in front of me, we're going to use information off Sierra bullets on the Berger chart. Thank you to Berger. Thank you to Sierra. But just kind of to demonstrate. So what we're going to do, and we may not be able to, we may have to select strictly Berger bullets. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to. So what we're going to do, now it's interesting. They don't list a hunting in 22 caliber. Interesting. So let's go 308, 30 caliber. And so let's go your 168 grain classic hunter. Now, it does give you the option to, it fills in the information for you. So it's got a ballistic coefficient of 0.251 in G7. I want to know G1 though. Does it list G1? No.
G1 is what we're all familiar with. G7 is coming from Brian Litz. G7 is the newer standard, the newer measurement system. G1 is what you're already familiar with, Mike.
Right. That's why I wanted to see if it'd bring it up, but it won't. Maybe if I tick that and then choose it again. No. It won't. So it only provides the G7. Some of it will not provide the G1, it says. So what we're looking at, you've got your ballistic coefficient, your caliber, which is the diameter of the bullet, not the actual cartridge. Clear that up. So this is a 308 Winchester cartridge. The bullet is 308 caliber because it's 0.308 inches. So a lot of people screw that up. I'm even guilty of doing that from time to time. But I wanted to clear that up because that is one of those common definition issues that can really cause you some problems if you're not talking about it in the correct way. So it doesn't give powder charge or anything like this. But what it's going to do is it's going to give you the weight, the grains, so 168. It's going to give you the length of the bullet, which they know. And I'm going to see if I can program my own stuff in here and see if it works too. So then we've got our muzzle velocity in feet per second. It's going to, and this is to check. The thing about this is it's, with their bullets, it's going to pre-calculate stuff for you. But what it does, you can put in your temperature and your altitude. So we're at sea level. It's going to give you a stability analysis. So what it's going to do is it's going to tell you, and see here it tells me what the ballistic coefficient in G1 is, 0.475. So
that's pretty good.
So it's going to tell you whether that bullet you're going to try and use with that twist rate is stable. So just for fun, I don't actually think it's even a real thing, but we're going to see it's a 1 in 18 twist. Not that they make a 1 in 18 twist through a Winchester barrel, but to show you. So according to their calculations, your bullet is unstable. Expect bad accuracy, tumbling bullets, and keyholes in targets. Keyholes, for those of you who don't know, is, let me get this back up. I'm going to take that down for a second. And we're going to bring this up. So keyholing is when the bullet goes through the target like this, instead of like this. So that's keyholing.
Mike, pull up the bottom of that screen a little bit, please.
Hang on.
Yeah, I know. It takes time. It takes bandwidth, too.
Excuse me. So here it's saying your bullet is unstable. I don't know what SG stands for. So I got to figure that out. Click here for an important note. The Miller stability formula is most accurate for boat tail bullets and typically underestimates stability for flat-based bullets. In other words, if stability calculator indicates low stability for your flat-based bullet and barrel twist, it's because the formula is not accurate for flat-based bullets. And then they've got a list for twist rates. Looking to see if we've got a definition of SG, because I don't know what it is.
Couldn't be specific gravity. Stability something. It's got to be. Mike, let's make sure we have the show notes, the link for this particular calculator, twist rate calculator from Burger Bullets.
Yeah.
The show notes, if you would, please, sir.
Yeah. Let's see here. So it's based off of, it says for a detailed explanation of the science behind the stability calculator, refer to the book Modern Advancement in Long Range Shooting, Volume 1 by Brian Litz.
Yeah, I got that. I got about 50 pages, and that's like way over my head.
So Brian Litz is an amazing individual and spends a lot of time thinking about stuff that most of us probably never will bother to. But if you want to dig deep, that's a good place to go.
That gentleman has dug a lot deeper than any of us are willing to go. He knows what the rabbit hole looks like by memory.
Yep. So one of the important things about this is when you do this, it says bullet is unstable. And then, like I said, I'm not sure what SG stands for. We'll have to look that up. So it gives you your ballistic coefficient in G7. And it says what your adjusted ballistic coefficient for a 1 in 18 twist should be. And then it says your BC is being compromised. Your ballistic coefficient is being compromised by 23%. And then for the bullet that you're using, it gives you your minimum twist rate recommendation. So at the bare minimum, we should be using a 1 in 12.5 twist rate. So let's see what happens when we go the other direction. We'll go 1 in 7 just for fun. So now, bullet is stable. Because it's spinning a lot faster. So we're going to go back up to... What fun are you people? So they don't list anything for lighter grains.
Well, Mike, change your bullet diameter to 0.244.
To 2.4?
0.244.
Or 2.44, so 243 Winchester.
You're right, but the bullet diameter is 0.244.
Correct. So I got to find one. Actually, no, it is 0.243.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the odd ones.
You're right, because I'm thinking of 244 Remington. Sorry.
Oops, too many decimals. All right, so I'm going to use a yeah,
you'll have to change bullet.
70 grain. And I need the the G1, which is 0.299. Okay, and oh man, it doesn't give me the length.
Sharonda, do you happen to have a bullet calculator with you? Or calipers with you?
I do. I think it's right behind me too. Hold on.
Well, Mike, you might have to change your bullet weight to the 95, but it'd be worth looking at. If she can give you the overall length of that bullet.
What I do with it? Okay, which one am I? I think I got it. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's in my back office. Hold on.
She's on the fly. You're right, Mark. 0.243 is 6 millimeter. Very close to quarter inch. 0.250. Gates Jr. Reloading. If you don't mind, I've got a question for you, sir. You're talking about SG. Can you tell us what the definition is of the abbreviation SG, as in Sierra Golf? Can you tell us what that definition is, sir?
So if you look up in the chats earlier, Paul Nelson said SG stands for specific gravity.
That doesn't sound right. Specific gravity refers to the weight of a material. He may be right, but I don't know. If it were GS, I would have gone with gyroscopic stability. Gates Jr. put up the comment. Gyroscopic stability is the easier of the two to understand. Gyroscopic stability is usually referred to as a variable called SG. Then he turns around and contradicts himself. Says that's not correct.
He's probably meaning what I
he
said.
could be talking about 8 to 8 hunt shoot off road. Okay, could be.
All right, I got my caliper.
All right, measure the length of your 95 grain bullets if you don't mind. Please, ma'am.
Yes, sir. And, yo, grab. I think I got one right here, too.
Found it.
Well, I don't have my 95s are packed up, but I found my 100 grains. So the overall length on the 100 grain 243, 2.640.
That's a cartridge length.
Yep. Oh, you wanted me to do the case?
No, the bullet length.
The bullet? Oh, hold on. I don't think I have any.
It's all right. Mike's already got some information up. Go ahead, Mike.
All right.
Okay. That's all right, Sharonda. Thank you, ma'am.
If it matters, I've got some 95s I can measure right here.
No, go ahead. Mike would just have to change the bullet weight.
I already got the measurement for it, so.
Okay, whatever you want to do.
Right now, I'm just looking for muzzle velocity.
Ooh, that's a smoker.
Yeah. That's only running 36 grains of 3031. So, all right. So let's find out if that's stable in a 1-in-7 twist. Bullet is stable. Sharenda, do you know what the twist rate is on your barrel?
I do. It is 1 and 9.25.
Oddball.
Yeah, I noticed that when she put it up. It is a bit oddball.
So this bullet is stable.
Travis, have you got those measurements yet?
Oh yeah, but I thought Mike didn't want them.
You want to play what if, Mike?
Sure.
All right. What is the length of that bullet, Travis, if you don't mind, sir?
Let me just get one out. It is one. It was 1.109.
That's a long bullet.
And these are the Hornady SSTs, 95 grain.
And the bullet weight was this 95 grain, you say, Travis?
95 grain. Yep.
Thank you,
What's
sir.
the ballistic coefficient on that there, Chief?
Travis, do you know what the
I'm
BC
looking.
is?
I don't see it on the box. No idea, guys.
Well, while we have a lull in conversation, I have a little shout out to Greg Wyatt. Greg, I finally reseated that loophole on the rings on my Ruger M77, and the rifle's shooting a lot better than it did. Something happened. Something come loose. I don't know what happened. All I know is I tightened the snot out of everything after I ran the scope all the way down, all the way up, all the way left, all the way right, recentered it. Actually, it was only about 4 MOA off on when I went to bore sight. But anyway, to Greg Wyatt, thanks for your concern. I appreciate it, sir. And I want to thank all the listeners, too, and all the folks in the chat. They're offering all the good advice about what to do with the rifle.
So 95 grain with a length of 1.109 and a ballistic coefficient of 0.299. Actually, no, I didn't change that. So you said there was a 95 what, Travis?
I believe he said it was a Hornady SST.
Okay. Okay, so we can use that. Excuse me. All right, so ballistic coefficient of 0.387, caliber 0.243 in a 243 Winchester cartridge, with a bullet weight of 95 grains, a length of 1.109, estimated muzzle velocity of 2960 feet per second, in a barrel twist rate of 1.925, at 59 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level. That load is marginally stable.
It's funny because the lady said that that's her favorite bullet. But we don't know if it's the SST.
So,
no, Chico, that would be Chico Wise has a question. Is that from the tip to the base or ogive to the base? I believe Travis measured it from nose to tail.
I wonder if they listed it in the old catalog. Or the old. Oops. Oh, got awfully quiet, awful quick.
Well, Travis is away from the keyboard.
Ah, how dare he be AFK? Who said he could go anywhere? Looking to see if in Sierra's manual they give the OAL of the bullet, but they don't.
Well, that's something that you don't often see is the overall length of the bullet itself.
Mm-mm.
The link for this is the link for this particular page that Mike is using is from burgerbullets.com/twist-rate-calculator/.
So just for kicks, let's crank this up to max load of 3,100 feet per second and see what we get. A little more stable, but not much. So
Daniel Anderson has a question of he's mentioned Mike has already mentioned that the readings were taken at sea level, and then he says, is there a prompt for atmospheric pressure or height above sea level? And to answer your question, Daniel, it wants to know your altitude.
Jason, what's your altitude when you're out at the long distance range?
4,500, I think.
That sounds about right, Jason. You're up in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains.
No, he's up in the Cascades. Sierra Nevadas?
Backside of the Sierras.
Okay.
My bad. That's right. You would have to go further east.
Sierra Nevadas.
Sorry.
Nope.
Yeah, you got to go quite a bit west or east to go to the Rockies.
So now here's the fun thing, gang. So we're going to drop the speed back down to 2950, which is what it was at. And we changed our altitude.
Huh.
And we now went from marginally stable to perfectly stable.
Mm-hmm.
Just by giving Jason the rifle.
So SG is gyroscopic stability, in case somebody didn't cover that.
Gates Jr. Reloaded covered that for us.
Okay. So if your SG is greater than 1.0, then your bullet is gyroscopically stable. So let's see if we can go the other way, gang. All right. So we are going to pop back down to, we're going to go, damn it, why is that the lightest that they have? Stupid. Okay, so we're going to do 20 caliber and a 40 grain.
Ooh.
And 204. And we're moving that puppy. Oh, that's a 32 grain. And that's a 39 grain. So, yeah.
Dead Horse has got a very good point on this ballistic calculator. He said he recalls someone's video using Keith bullet data on a lot of these calculators out of carbines. And every calculator failed and said it was unstable, which we know isn't true, even out to 400 plus yards. Just an interesting observation. Roll your screen down for me, Mike, so I can see the actual SG number.
Oh, I was changing stuff, so
I'm sorry, 3.21.
that's not accurate anymore. Here, let's do this. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create one that over rotates.
Can anybody tell me what the RPM is of a bullet that's leaving a 1 in 12 barrel at 3,000 feet per second? Miss Kitty, Vanessa Kitty, I've got a question for you. You're a math teacher. What's the RPM of a bullet that's leaving a 1 in 12 twist barrel at 3,000 feet per second? What is the RPM at the muzzle? If you don't mind a quick math question. That's right. 1 twist, 12 twists implies 1 foot.
There we go.
There we go.
No,
There we go.
I'm talking about something else.
Oh, me too. (3,000 feet per second, 112 twist at the muzzle, Miss Kitty. That's after it leaves the barrel. Doesn't matter how long the barrel is. So what are you playing with, Mike? Still playing with that? No, you're still on 243 caliber.
Yeah, but this is a 240 Weatherby mag.
Oh. My young friend Zachary came on and he said that she needs a diameter too. No, that she's been given all the information she needs, Zach. The diameter doesn't mean a thing because we're not interested in how fast they're rotating in feet per second. We're just talking about RPM. Very good, Mr. Kuiper. His comment is feet per second times 60 times the twist. Yeah.
So you can't get the calculator to go too much. Interesting.
Oh, you mean overstabilize it?
Uh-huh.
You know, that is, so in the real world, we know that's possible.
Yeah. But the calculator is set up not to be able to do that. Because I just took a 65 grain bullet moving 3,700 feet per second out of a 240 Weatherby at a 1 in 3 twist rate, and it will not say that it's too stable.
At that kind of RPM, I would expect the jackets to peel off and vaporize.
That's what should happen. So,
well, we don't know about that, Mike. Remember, we have one listener that drove a 55 grain bullet at 5,000 feet per second. My God.
But that 55 grain bullet wasn't rotating at a normal rate.
True.
Here's the problem with that. And we troubleshot this and tried to figure it out. The sabot was grappling the rifling.
Mm-hmm.
The sabot was not. turning the bullet at the same twist rate.
It would, because there's nothing in there to cause, because if the pressure is applied to the wall of the bullet, the outer wall of the bullet may not be rotating it would be rotating at the 30 caliber diameter, or the 300 rum he fired it out of.
But the bullet does not rotate at the same rate.
I agree, because the smaller diameter rotates.
The sabot is spinning faster than the bullet inside of it.
The periphery, the circumference of the sabot would be going faster than the circumference of the bullet. I quite agree with that.
So therefore,
the RPM would be exactly the same.
Right, Jason. That's
But it's
exactly
not.
right.
because you're thinking that the sabot is actually locking the bullet in place and it's turning the bullet.
It is.
In real world, it's not.
What's it doing? Spinning in space?
It's spinning. The sabot is spinning like it should, but it's not gripping the bullet. That's why the bullet keyholes at 25 yards.
Mm.
Then the sabot must be coming off at the instant it clears the muzzle.
Plus, well, actually, no. He has high-speed footage of it, the sabot staying with it a little bit outside the barrel. But the problem is, so you got your bullet sitting inside the sabot, but the sabot is not firmly gripping and holding the bullet in place. The sabot is spinning around the bullet while the bullet is not spinning as fast. Think about a slipping belt. Like a slipping fan belt.
Mm-hmm.
So around the crankshaft, that belt holds and turns the way it's supposed to. But when you get out to the alternator where the pressure's less, the belt's still moving at the same speed, but it's not turning that alternator pulley at the same rate. As if that belt was locked down tight and there was no slippage. So you may get 4,500 RPMs at the crank, and you may get 4,500 RPMs on the belt, but you're only getting 3,000 RPMs out of that alternator pulley because of slippage. And that's the same thing that was happening in that sabot with that 224 bullet. So, does that make sense now, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay. In a perfect world where the sabot is actually holding the bullet like it's supposed to.
Yes, that was my thinking. It's like
Right.
I didn't realize it was slipping, or if it was slipping, because of the high centrifugal force, it would tend to let go. I could see that. The instant it clears the barrel, leaves the rifling, it's going to let go because it start to come apart because of the centrifugal force.
Right. But even as it's going down the barrel, it's still not holding the bullet tight like it should because of the force involved. And the fact that the plastic and the brass aren't designed to be a complete, like, vice grip type situation.
Right.
So
Now you could use something on the order of acrylic CA glue or something like that, super glue, crazy glue, to hold it all together.
but then the problem is the bullet and sabot won't separate once you're outside the barrel.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
I'm going to go to a comment back a bit that kind of where to go. Okay. So Dead Horse says his 50 cal muzzle loader sabot seemed to stabilize 45 cal projectiles just fine, even at 200 yards with a 1 in 28 twist. Yes. Different situation, different speed, different pressure. So
That's right. Pressure is considerably lower, and the projectile, well, the propellant, of course, is black powder or a Pyrodex equivalent. Wow, where'd everybody go?
We're back to the way we were.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Kitty. Good one, Idaho. Good one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's something that I've never seen a whole lot of data on is the rotational speed of the bullet, the effect it has in the terminal ballistics equation. You know, what effect does it have on a wild pig? What effect does it have on a ballistic gelatin? That's something I never heard a lot about.
I'm not sure, but what I was looking up is what the chamber pressure of a 50 cal black powder rifle is.
Yeah.
And I didn't really look at the first piece of data that came up. I just saw maximum pressure, and I saw 54,923 psi, and then I'm like, wait, what? And I looked up, it's the pressure for a 50 BMG.
Okay.
It's be like, holy crap, they build those muzzle loaders a little better than I thought they did.
Yeah. So what is the chamber pressure of a muzzle loader?
Look at
roughly.
this. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Looks like 12 to 16,000 psi. So, a little higher than 12 gauge, but
yeah.
Well, probably about the same as some of your 12 gauge rounds. I know my trap load's supposed to be about 12. So,
Mike, highlight Fat Elvis's comment about the sabot, please. Fat Elvis's comment is sabot is just a funny word to me. It sounds like a clown's name.
Are you making fun of the French?
Actually, it's the Dutch. Sabot refers to the wooden shoe.
Ah.
If slips on and off and slips over the foot, the wooden shoe that the Dutch used to wear that they're famous for. Anyway, and of course that's where the French come in, Mike. Good point. The connection is to the word sabotage, where they would throw their wooden shoes in machinery and damage working machinery, trying to slow down the war machine.
Yep. So, Vanessa Kitty's question, do you go for slower RPM? Does the minimum amount of RPM help as a bullet flies, or should you spin it fast?
If you overspin it, you're going to, for long range, you're going to have to factor in spin drift. Because as that bullet flies through the air, it's going to take little pieces of the air and start moving around to the right. If it's a right-hand twist, it's going to start drifting to the right. If it's a left-hand twist, it's going to drift to the left. $50,000, Raggle. Fraggle gave me the question, riddle me this. What's the RPM of a bullet going 1,000 feet per second out of a 1 in 5 twist barrel? And I just told him at 50,000 RPM. I've seen it. Okay, Miss Kitty has a question. If you spin the bullet too fast, would the bullet jacket begin to twist off of the bullet? Yes, if it is a known possibility. I've actually had it happen with thin 22 rimfire jackets that I made and put over my pure lead cores. I've actually been able to take and cause a jacket to disappear about 10 feet from the end of the barrel and the bullet just simply flies apart.
So, I'll have it in the show notes, but I did find a quick calculator for bullet twist rate into RPM. Well, so basically it's muzzle velocity times, and then in parentheses, so that means, kids, you do this part first, 12 divided by the twist rate in inches. So, let's figure this out. All right. Where does stupid question go? I shouldn't say stupid question. Mark Wilson says he uses the JBM ballistic stability calculator. I will find that and link it as well. I'm typing it in before I forget. Oh, I got a local security guard company. No, we don't want that. It is actually using the same thing, by the way. They're both using the Miller stability formula. Both the Berger and the so where did his question go? Physics to history.
Mike, are you looking for Raggle Fraggle's question?
The 1,000 feet per
Yeah,
second.
it's Jim Fleming. Riddle me this. What's the RPM of a bullet going 1,000 feet per second out of a 1 in 5 twist barrel?
Okay, so there's this question.
So from your math, what you just put down, where's your highlighted one that you
All right.
just had?
So we're going to take 12 divided by 5.
Which is 2.4. And then we times 2.4 by the 1,000 feet per second, the muzzle velocity.
2.4.
That's 2,400. Times that by 60, and that equals 144,000 RPM.
Someone had it right up there.
I don't care what they did. We're doing it now. Bye, Andy. So. Hello, Lead Bullet Junkie. Pat Elvis has got a question that I know Paul Nelson probably knows the answer to because he actually uses the twist rate. He's actually used those. So. Theoretically, it shouldn't. So, question is, I always wondered if a gain twist disrupts a nice, consistent imprint on the bullet affecting accuracy. So we're talking about the imprints that the lands and grooves leave on the bullet. Theoretically, no. Because the same piece of machinery made the rifling from the muzzle, or from the chamber to the muzzle. What changed, how fast the barrel was turning as they were pulling the whatever they were using for the rifling through. So theoretically, the rifling should all be consistent from start to finish. It's just the rate at the amount of twists.
I agree, Mike. If you've got like four lands, 4 grooves, it's going to come out 4 lands, 4 grooves.
So
And Miss Kitty had a question. So let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I better not go with that one. Yeah, that's the one. I don't think a whole lot happens to the bullet other than gravity starts taking over and aerodynamic resistance. It's the only thing that happens to the bullet after it leaves the barrel, Miss Kitty. Because there's nothing else going on. The bullet doesn't have a rocket or anything stabilizing it. The bullet can't really be the aerodynamics. The flight of the bullet can't be changed once it leaves the barrel.
So Paul said the grain twist does leave a nice imprint on the bullet if done right, but if you go from a 1 in 10 to a 1 in 5, the bullet will have a wider imprint. Okay, I don't know. So
I don't either.
I don't pretend to know. I just gave it a wild ass guess. So
We just got a good question, Mike, about stainless and chrome moly barrels.
where?
From Thought of a side question. Do stainless? Yeah, that's it. Do stainless or chrome moly barrels last longer before being shot out? That's another one I have no idea. I've never worn out a barrel.
Now, is he talking about chrome moly plated, or is he talking about chrome moly completely?
I'm sure he's talking about chrome moly steel.
More than likely, he's talking about chromoly plated, and those generally seem to last longer than the stainless.
What do they do with that, Travis? Travis, rifle it out and then oversize it and plate it, put it in a plating?
Say that again, Jim. Who, the
What do they-
manufacturer?
Yes.
I believe they do. It doesn't actually add that much from what I understand. But yeah, they have a process that they compensate for all that when they basically chrome the inside of that barrel.
Now, I have heard of chrome plated barrels. That would be only molecules thick, because any more than that would start making the bore undersize.
Correct.
It's even less than, say, like gold leaf plating. So from what I've heard, but I don't know.
As I said, molecules thick.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
So, John's hand loading says John Krieger of Krieger Barrels says the stainless lasts longer and cleans easier. Whereas Dead Horse says chrome moly will last longer if all things are equal between the two. And then Paul Nelson said chrome barrels are good, but harder to chamber than stainless. So
Jim, from your years of machining expertise, is stainless, most people think stainless is pretty hard material. Is it actually hard when you're machining it, or is it mostly, let's just say you're drilling a hole, is it actually soft and it's galling up your drill bit, or is it actually hard and it's dulling your drill bit.
It's tough, and if you don't feed with a heavy enough feed rate, depending upon the alloy you use, like a 304 alloy, it will actually work harden. If I don't feed with a fast enough feed rate, then the chips come out instead of cutting, it's like rubbing. I will actually work harden the material inside of the hole, and thereby making it harder and harder and harder to continue drilling. That's why you'll see, like on heavy equipment, you make heavy equipment, Travis.
Yeah, but you just said it though. You just changed it by work hardening it. Its original state is actually fairly soft.
Right. But the heating and the machining cause it to toughen up and become work hardened. I've seen on heavy equipment, like on buckets and stuff, I've seen stripes of bright metal on an ordinary mild steel or carbon steel bucket. I've seen bright stripes on there. It's work hardened stainless steel to take and help improve with the abrasion resistance.
So chrome lined is actually different than a chrome moly. Chrome moly is a metal version. It looks like that's most of your blue barrels nowadays. So,
what does moly stand for? I've never been able to pronounce that word. Molybdenum? Molybdenum?
Let me look.
Yeah, we need someone to pronounce that word, Miss Kitty. Molybdenum. Molybdenum. Yeah. Somebody needs to come on the show and pronounce that word for us. My Guyanese wife is pronouncing it for me. It's getting funny. I'm getting abused. A minute, 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 48 seconds, and Jim's getting hit.
Yeah, but Dead Horse has got a good point too. Just like there's different alloys and stuff.
Yep.
416 stainless is pretty soft, but I know for sure 4140 or 4150 is super hard.
You're right, Travis. That's something I try not to put on a bandsaw if I can help it.
Yeah, you'll tear up that blade will be toasted.
I don't know if it's a work or not. I'm going to try see if I can't get YouTube to pronounce that word for me.
Molybdenum.
I actually said molybdenum.
I think Paul Loud's got it pronounced correct. Say that for us, Jim. How he pronounces it.
Nice try, Travis. Molybdenum is pronounced Alox Nation.
You're no fun, Jim.
Molybdenum. Molybdenum.
Actually, Idaho Rogers may have it right. Molybdenum. Molybdenum. And somebody had to throw a wrench in the works. Thanks, John. We appreciate the sabot and the machinery. That's called sabotage. Because he said, if you are British, it is pronounced differently, too.
That's because the British screws up everything. That's why we got out of that place.
That's why we kicked their asses back in 1776. Thanks, Chris. I will do that.
Look what came.
WFT.
Molybdenum. Can you guys hear that?
No.
Molybdenum.
That's right. That's exactly right, Travis. That's right, Mike. That's exactly right. That's what Google told me.
That's where I come from. Anyway.
Well, this show has wandered all over the place.
Yep.
What's that word called? Meandered. We've meandered from. There were some comments earlier from basic relating to lesson in physics and back to history. I ain't gonna do that for you, Paul Loud. He wants me to pronounce Powercoat. 2 words. But I will stand by what I said. I do suggest that most new reloaders try it. See if you like it. Try it first. I like my quick lubrication and done.
All right. Exactly what we said. All right. So, last couple things for tonight. Now that we're done crawling down that rabbit hole. And I forgot who sent that. Oh, that was stupid. Ah! And he's in the chat tonight.
Who's in the chat?
Daniel Anderson.
He's been there.
I know. So he sent this question in. Rather than go through annealing 223, I just thought that maybe people would be better served converting brass to 300 blackout or selling minor imperfections to someone who intends to do so. I hear some people don't bother with annealing 223 as they are a cheaper brass to come by. Some people don't anneal anything. So there's the problem. Annealing isn't just specifically to make your brass last longer. So
I kind of missed some of that what you just said there, Mike. But if he's wanting to convert 223 over to 300 blackout, annealing it is going to be beneficial to him.
correct.
And that's what I'm actually going to be doing. I've been saving. I heard you say what I do is if I have any 223 cases that the necks or something get damaged or anything like that, I throw those all into a pile. And then later on, I take all of that and I'm going to anneal those quite a bit on the 223 case. So the annealing goes down. So when I cut it, go to size it, it's already annealed where I want it. And thus it should size and form a lot easier. It used to be very expensive to go buy 300 blackout brass. Now, if you can take it, go to Harbor Freight, get a cheap little cutoff saw that they sell. You cut it off at the neck of the 223, run it through a 300 blackout sizing die, and then trim it to length, and you've got your own 300 blackout cases.
These boys are bad tonight. These boys are bad.
Jason, did you ever get your annealer?
Nope.
You talk to that bum anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what he's waiting on. But seeing how he's not charging me for it, I guess I'll just wait.
Well, gee, it's like 2 years in the waiting, though. I mean, how long can a guy wait?
It's Jason. He's got lots of patience, unlike you.
Yeah, I don't have that. Wow, Jim, you got something you need to tell us?
No.
Mark Hookham's got something to say to you.
Mark Hookham always has something to say.
Mark Hookham is drunk.
I was going to say, it sounds like Mark's celebrating for you, Jim.
Yep, I think so. I think he's had some of that Johnny Walker Black that he likes so well.
A small Idaho Rogers says a small 3/8 tubing cutter works great for cutting off too. So I don't know. I think that a tubing cutter would probably put too much pressure on the brass and deform it.
Yeah, that takes too long. Ain't nobody got time for that.
The brass is also tapered. The tubing cutter is intended for cylindrical tubing. And if you think about it, brass is actually conical.
That little saw, I got one right sitting next to me. Let me grab it real quick.
Josh Poe, are you talking BBs as in like the copper things you shoot out of a Red Ryder? Or are you talking BB as in the shot shies BB?
So this is what I'm talking about from Harbor Freight, just one of these little mini chop saws. And I recommend on Amazon or eBay, Squirrel Daddy makes probably the best little jig that you put in here. And it has, you can feed your cases in and it shows you exactly where to cut it. And you can feed them in, cut, shove another one in, cut, and keep feeding them in. At the end, it's got a special cutout. So if you have a trash box first and then your output box second, the cut necks fall through the first hole into your trash box, and the longer cut pieces continue on and go into your collection box, and it keeps all the shavings and everything out of your collection box. But this is going to be your quickest and cheapest way. There's a lot quicker ways, but this is going to be your cheapest way. Your quickest way would be to get a RT 1500 or these new Bosch 2-horse router trimmers and just put that on a progressive press, and it'll cut the whole thing and size it all in one pass.
Paul Nelson has a answer for our friend Josh.
Yep.
He needs to reload those BBs with a steel reloading book.
Yeah. So BBs are probably going to be similar to, they're probably actually, if I remember correctly, somewhere in between a number 5 shot, and number 6 shot. So
4 is about 240.
Yeah, I don't remember. So I don't remember exactly. I could look it up, honestly. Wait a minute. What am I doing? Shot sizes.
Jason, did you just blink? I can't.
Holy crap.
Help is on the way.
So, Jim?
Yeah, Mike.
B. It's actually between B and BB. B is 0.17 inches, and BB is 0.18.
Actually, Mike,
Google
Google tells
shot is 0.12. Number 6 is 0.11.
Google tells me number 5 shot non-toxic shot size. Number 5 is 0.12. Number 2 is 0.15, and
Yep.
number 1, it doesn't. Well, it has 9 more rows. Let's see here.
0.16. So
BB is diameter. Okay, didn't know. It's all metric. Doggone it.
bismuth. And
Number
the
1
reason you
shot.
have to use steel,
Yep.
is because the BBs are steel.
Yep.
And so they're not going to give. One of the key components of lead shot is it does move around and squish as it's going down a barrel.
That's why you have to have a heavier shot cup for steel BBs.
Yep.
Steel shot, I should say. And it's interesting. The actual BB shot size in inches is 0.18, well, only a few thousandths larger than 0.177.
Mm-hmm. So you round up, and there you go.
Yep, round up. Good question, Josh. Yes.
I'm glad we can entertain you twice, Mark.
So in the Lyman 5th shot shell, it does not say specific shot size. It just says by weight. So 1 ounce load, 7/8 ounce load, 1 1/8. Those are on 3-inch shells. And then you've got 7/8 and 1 ounce in 1 1/8 ounce in 2 3/4. And then they go with the different. So, so that's kind of the difference there. Not sure why you wanna. If it's just for fun, I guess that's one thing. There's definitely far better loads options out there for accuracy.
I would say Josh is interested in the question just for fun because he refuted everything just by saying, I'll stick with number 7.5 shot for now.
Yeah.
7.5 lead shot for now.
Yep. So.
And Paul Nelson confirmed what I said about special shot cups.
Oh, yeah. And then Miss Kitty said, is there a barrel that's best for steel shot? And then Jorgen said, choke size is important, Miss Kitty. Use cylinder or improved cylinder or modified, I believe. You can bulge your barrel on tighter chokes. So you cannot use, if you're looking for a full choke, you must find a steel full choke.
Probably has a lot to do with the hardness of the steel in the barrel.
So
Tougher barrel.
Hey, Jim,
Sir.
grab your notebook and write down 1 hour, 39 minutes in.
I just got bitten.
I was struck 4 times.
I just got bitten.
So, Paul Nelson said Ballistic Products. So that's BPI. They have a lot of information on steel shot. So, let's see here. Yeah, it's not a matter of the barrels are the barrels. Nobody makes a steel barrel, a steel shot barrel, and nobody makes a different composition choke for them. It's the diameter of the restriction that's the difference between a lead full choke and a steel full choke. Because, as we've discussed, lead is flexible and squishes. So does bismuth, whereas steel will not. And so steel, you can actually banana peel your barrel if you're running too tight of a choke and trying to run steel through it. And if you're wondering what banana peel your barrel means, think back to your younger days. For those of us that enjoyed the glorious days of cartoons, to Looney Tunes, when Bugs would stick his finger in the end of Elmer Fudd's barrel, and the barrel would go. That's banana peeling. Paul Nelson says if you're going to get special barrels, best barrels for steel is a backboard barrel. So. I've heard of them, but I don't know what it means. Not bark, back.
This sounds like a topic for the next show.
Mm-hmm. So a backboard barrel is a shotgun barrel. It has a bore diameter increase beyond standard specs. Increasing the bore diameter of shotgun greatly enhances performance. Large bore diameter reduces friction of the shot charge against the barrel wall. So instead of trying to overcome friction, powder gases expend more energy on the wad base, resulting in an increased shot velocity because there's less constriction or pressure on the barrel on a shot charge, fewer deformed pellets. So that would make more sense why it'd be better for steel. Less pressure on the wad. So. Anyway.
Vanessa Kitty, because you have 200 acres to hunt on. That's why he wants to be your friend.
I would still proceed with caution.
Maybe that friend you can never get rid of.
Hey, Chris Sharp, can we all be your friend for elk season?
Yeah, 13,000 acres.
We can still practice social distancing.
Oh, easily.
I'm gonna get in on a lotto for elk here this fall too.
Yeah, you were saying Misery's got its first elk hunt.
Yep, and you gotta pay just to get into the lotto.
Oh yeah,
It's all about revenue generation, but that's right. That's not a topic.
I'm
for
okay
this
with
show.
that.
If it pleases the crown. So, anyway. All right.
That's West Virginia, Mike. Men are men and sheep are skewed.
Chris says only if we have a 338 Lapua, so that rules out Phil. Yeah, I guess that rules out all of us because none of us had one. So, well, Jim, your 25 acres is a lot better than my half acre. So, all I can do is pellet gun the occasional critter. Although eventually I'm going to get a 22 can, and then that raccoon that keeps trying to make its nest in our shed is going to. So, because I'm out in the country, I just don't want to make a lot of noise.
The answer, Josh, is 0.
I don't think you hunt, do you?
No, but I should.
Yes, you should.
I live in one of the best states for it.
That's the one I was trying to click on when I clicked on Paul's. We're not going to say what Paul said. You got to look at the chat. So,
Mr. Nelson,
she's got 3 large flocks of turkey through the 200 plus acres. So that's nice. Literally about 150 yards down the road from me it used to be a farm field, and now it's a pondy, marshy thing because it won't drain. But anyway, so the people that have the farm that's across the street, when they retired and turned it over to the kids, they built a really nice house across the street, and it's up against the woods. And so I've been having the pleasure of watching Tom's trying to attract the ladies in the soybean field that they didn't take down last fall because it was too wet to get into. Jim, I actually have I have two different 22 air rifles, but with a suppressor and 22 shorts out of my regular rifle, or especially if I go subsonic, you're quieter, much quieter. Because whether it's the pump, the PCP, or the brake action, they're still loud. So, although the PCP might be quiet enough to pull it off, but I don't have that kind of money because I can get a can for what I would pay for a PCP air rifle. Those things aren't cheap. Oh, that's a great comment by
I wouldn't know who he's slamming. Would you, Jason?
Mm-mm.
So you guys are gonna have to look at the chat for that one too. So, anyway, well, that's pretty much all I got for tonight. Anybody else got anything?
Well, they don't call him brutally handsome for nothing.
Oh my gosh, that's deep. The bonus of getting PCP air rifles is I wouldn't have to worry about a place to fill them because the boys are firefighters, so they can just fill the tank there. Hey, so he's what you call non-typical. There you go. So, all right, gang. Once again, thank you to Jake and Ryan over at Patriot Patch Company for being the bandwidth sponsor. Thanks again to Sean and the gang over at Firearms Radio Network for giving us a place to hang out. Just want to say thank you to all of you that join us every week. Sorry, I looked at the chat again. But thank you to everybody that sends us emails, everybody that sends us texts or voicemails. Email is reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. The number for sending us a text or leaving us a voicemail, 608-467-0308. We have had a literal explosion. In the last month, we've actually doubled the number of people in the Reloading Podcast group on Facebook. So if you're still on the Facebooks, if you want to drop by and say hi, remember, if you're not a member, you have to answer the questions, all 3 of them. Ooh, I forgot that.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I forgot that point. Some PCPs are suppressed from the factory. So, yeah, I mean, just amazing growth on the Facebook. Just make sure that when you're in there, pay attention. Chris Sharp said, yeah, we still lose people for trying to sell stuff on Facebook. Yes, absolutely. You cannot sell anything or have anything that even looks closely to resembling a sale on Facebook. Because if Facebook thinks that we're trying to sell stuff, they will shut us down without even thinking about it. If you want to sell stuff, go over to MeWe.
We have a link, Mike. Would you make sure to put that in the show notes?
It already is.
Thank you, sir.
We also have got we've also got Discord. For the nice thing about Discord is as we get more people over there, there's an audio chat feature, so we could start doing audio chats and stuff. So
it's nice.
Yeah, I like MeWe's interface too. So if you want to sell stuff, There's a couple options. There's the TRR buy and sell page on MeWe. We also do have spots in Discord to post stuff for sale. So, yeah. A lot of places out there, a lot of us that have the experience are going to be called upon by all the newbies that are getting into it due to what's going on. So, yeah, appreciate everybody helping out, sharing the knowledge. So.
Quit looking at the chat, Mike. Click over to private chat and quit looking at that trash.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, I agree, Dead Horse. So.
Yeah, we all agree to that.
Yep. So. But on that note, gang, thank you to all the Patreons because they help make this possible. And keep your brass shiny.
Be an asset, not a liability.
Hey, do like I always do. Wear your PPE when you're reloading.
Teach a lady how to reload. She just might like it.
Take somebody shooting. Most important thing you can do for the Second Amendment is teach someone to shoot. Teach someone to reload. That supports the Second Amendment too.
Yep. All right, gang. Thanks to everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.